Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to my Spider-Man guide. So, you logged into Rivals, looked through all the really cool heroes in the game, and out of all of them, you decided you're gonna play the web-swinging, crime-stopping, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, huh? Well, you've come to the right place. Let me tell you why by introducing myself. So, my name is Necros. I'm something of a Spider-Man enjoyer, one could say. You might have seen or heard some of my cool Spidey plays before. I've played Spider-Man in the top 500 bracket in all regions, hitting rank 1 in every single one of them. On top of that, I've also played in the War of the Realms tournament, which was Marvel Rivals' first ever pro tournament, placing second with my team. In total, I have around 300 hours on him across all the technical tests of Rivals. Spider-Man is incredibly fun to play, and he's personally my favorite hero in Marvel Rivals. In this video, I will teach you guys how to play him, and also explain what he does in game, as well as give you some basic combos for him you can use. Spider-Man is a 5-star difficulty hero, making him one of the hardest characters to play in Rivals. One of the reasons he's so difficult is he is a squishy melee character who is very mobile, and all of his abilities flow into each other while requiring very precise timings to maximize their value. His role is that of an opportunistic backline assassin, focusing on taking out key targets during a fight. Let's start with his attacks. Spider Power is his regular attack. It's a combo of 2 punches and a kick, with the kick having more range and damage but being a bit slower than his punches. He also has access to a special overhead follow-up attack after using certain abilities, like his double jump. His alternative attack is Web Cluster, which is a slowly regenerating ammo resource projectile attack that Spider-Man can use. Web Cluster is mostly used to mark enemies and follow up with his other attacks and abilities. When it connects, it will mark an enemy with a debuff called Spider Tracer, but I'm just gonna call it Sticky from now on. Reason why is you guys are gonna be hearing Sticky a lot when you play this hero. A lot. And I mean a lot.
Gonna get sticky.
Bro. Why is he yapping about getting sticky? Nothing even happened. This sticky debuff is consumed by his other damaging abilities to deal bonus damage. Weaving your sticky in between your abilities and attacks is a core part of playing Spider-Man, and it's also what makes his combos incredibly satisfying to pull off. His first ability is the iconic Web Swing, which is an incredibly fast mobility skill that can quite literally take Spider-Man across an entire map within seconds. It comes with 3 charges, and it can be used multiple times in quick succession, allowing you to reach extreme speeds and give you very easy access to the enemy backline. Proper use of web swinging is what will allow you to punish out of position targets. Those were his attacks. Now let's move on to his abilities. His second ability, get over here, works in 2 different ways depending on whether you've made an enemy sticky. If there's a lack of stickiness, Spider-Man will send out a web that will reel in his target, bringing them into melee range. On the other hand, if you've successfully made the enemy sticky, they can instead be dashed to, bringing you to the perfect distance to follow up with his melee attacks. Or the next ability we'll be talking about, Amazing Combo. The Amazing Combo is Spider-Man's uppercut that launches enemies upwards. Unlike the Insomniac games though, it doesn't really set you up for further air hits since the enemy is free to move and act, meaning they will try to shoot you in the face, which you probably want to avoid. Just a little tip for you there. You know, one Spidey to another. You're welcome. Anyway, it comes with 2 charges and has a short cooldown in between uses. It will also consume his sticky debuff if you happen to have an enemy mark with it, dealing even more damage. You should always try to make your enemy sticky before you knock them up. Moving on, the next ability, Thwip and Whip, is a very simple double jump. All it does is it allows you to jump twice. That's all. What else do you expect me to say? Next, let's talk about his passive abilities. Spidey has 2 passives. The first is, of course, Spider Sense. This will give you a visual and audio cue whenever an enemy that you can't see enters a radius around you. His second passive is Wall Crawl, which allows you to climb walls and ceilings and also cling to them to wait in ambush. Next, let's talk about his team-ups. First though, for those of you who might not know, team-ups are a unique mechanic in Rivals where you get access to special abilities if you picked certain heroes together on the same team. This will usually be heroes who have some sort of connection in the story, which I think is pretty thematic and cool. Team-ups are a nice addition to the game. I like them. As of Season 0, Spider-Man has access to 2 team-ups. One of them is a passive 10% damage increase, which is always in effect for the season, since he's Squirrel Girl's anchor for her team-up ability. The more important one, though, is his second team-up. When a Venom is on your team, Spider-Man has access to his special ability called Suit Expulsion. Suit Expulsion creates a circle around Spider-Man and knocks enemies back, dealing damage. And the stickiest of all of his abilities is Spectacular Spin, Spider-Man's ultimate. When activated, Spider-Man will begin getting everybody around him sticky until they are so sticky that they cannot move. What I mean by this is he will make a circle on the ground, dealing AoE damage in it, and anybody who gets hit by the full duration of the ultimate will get stunned for a brief moment. Next, let's talk about some combos and useful tips. My first tip for you guys when playing Spider-Man is you should almost never go for Vanguard characters. These are your tanks on the battlefield. You simply do not have the damage to take down their massive health pools. Instead, you should focus your efforts on taking out key backline targets like strategists or other duelists. You're much more likely to succeed in securing an elimination on them. Some of your best targets as Spider-Man are heroes like Luna Snow, Adam Warlock, Black Widow, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, and so on. Heroes that are basically not very mobile and rely on the help from their team are the best targets to go for, especially when they're isolated. My advice is to use your web swing to swing above them and drop down into the bread and butter combo, which I will mention soon. The most important tip I have for you guys by far is to always weave stickies between attacks and abilities to do more damage. If you just run at your enemy while holding down your attack button, you're probably gonna end up back in your spawn room pretty quick without actually being able to do much damage to them. Spidey is not very good at dealing sustained damage. He's very much an in and out kind of character. You go in, use all of your abilities, and then get out before the enemy can retaliate. If you enjoy that playstyle, then Spidey's definitely the character for you. Alright, now let's talk about combos. I'm going to show you guys some of the easier combos which require the least amount of effort but are still very effective. I'll make a dedicated combo video later because there's a lot to talk about on this topic, and some of the more complex ones are crazy. They're actually comparable to executing really difficult moves in fighting games, and I swear I'm not even exaggerating on this. They're that hard. You need to have extremely quick inputs and precise timings, but honestly that's just another reason why I loved mastering this character. I would just sit there in training range and practice combos for hours, and the payoff was super satisfying when I actually started pulling them off in an actual game. But I'll talk more about that later when I make that video. Anyway, let me show you guys Spidey's bread and butter combo, and one you will find yourself using by far the most when playing him. So this is how we do it. Begin by firing a sticky at your enemy. This will allow your get over here ability to instead turn into a gap closer. Pull yourself towards them with it, and then follow up with an uppercut which will consume the sticky debuff and deal a lot of damage. After this, if it's too dangerous, you can choose to disengage with web swing, but if you feel like you're in a good spot, follow up with another sticky immediately after the uppercut and a regular punch to finish off any squishy character in the game. Another really useful combo is if you manage to connect a hook on someone. Start by hooking the enemy, follow with the sticky into a regular punch. Quickly sticky them again after the punch lands and uppercut them for the finisher. This will eliminate most squishy targets in the game. I have another combo for you guys, which is a variation of the bread and butter combo. Again, begin by sticking your enemy and using get over here to jump to them. This time though, we don't uppercut right away. Instead, we let the kick animation play out. Then we punch once to proc the sticky debuff and immediately reapply it and uppercut as soon as possible to secure the elimination. And with that, we've reached the end of the video. Since Rivals just came out, I wanted to keep it simple and explain the very basics of how to play Spider-Man. I will be making another guide covering more of the advanced tips and combos for Spidey at some point in the very near future. So if you guys don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe. Oh, and since you made it this far, you might as well like the video if you learned something. I will be streaming on Twitch every day playing mostly Spider-Man, and if you're watching this on release, there are Twitch drops going on right now, so come check me out if you want them, and maybe you'll learn something else on top of getting some drops goodies. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wish you guys good luck in your games, and do have a very sticky time playing Spider-Man. Gonna get sticky!